Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. My glasses are so crooked, they're dirty too. They got stepped on a while ago and now they just like to crooked whenever they feel like it. So today we are going to be doing a bunch of different hamburger meals. So all that hamburger that I bought at the grocery store the other day, we are going to cook all that up. So I am going to be making 4 meatloaves, which for our family we would eat 2 meatloaves per meal. So 4 meatloaves, 162 meatballs, 3 sloppy joes, 4 packages of taco mix, and then 2 chilies. So these are all going to be low carb, keto friendly type recipes. I will have the recipes themselves linked in the description box below. You'll notice that a couple of them I tweak up a little bit to compare to what the recipe is, but it still has the carb counts and stuff. The things that I change will not change the carb counts to what is in the description box. So if you're looking for the printable recipe, you can go to those sites to do that. I usually used to do all these things and just throw things together, and I can no longer do that because I can't just throw a meatloaf together because I don't know the exact carb count to the meatloaf that I'm doing. So I'm trying to use these recipes, get them in the freezer so I'm a little on top of things, because everyone here knows that I need to be on top of things for when things are crazy. So, and life usually is crazy. Doesn't something always come up? So we're going to cook these, and I hope these meals will bless you as well. Okay guys, we are going to make a keto meatloaf. So I have 8 pounds of hamburger in here, and then to that I am going to add some dry onion powder instead of an onion. So you could do 4 medium onions. I am going to do about a cup of onion, like chopped onion. There we go. Then I'm going to do 8 spoons of my homemade garlic. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to add in my eggs. So for this recipe, we are going to add in 8 eggs. Wait for a minute. My daughter is stirring while I crack, or she's over here the stirrer of the gang. 3. This is going to make 4 meatloaves. 6, 7, and 8. So we would use 2 meatloaves per meal for our family size. And then I'm going to add 1 whole cup of sugar-free ketchup. And I am using this brand right here. Grab a spoon and get every little bit out. We need to save our dollars when it's coming. Recently especially, I'm finding myself pulling out the spatula and scraping all the tidbits out, making sure that we're using it all up. Okay. Then we're going to use a 1/4 cup of almond milk, and I'm going to do that just in the same container that I just had the ketchup in. So just a 1/4 cup of that. Actually, why did I say a 1/4 cup? I don't need a 1/4 cup, I need a whole cup. Sorry about that. I will put the recipe down in the description box below. I did change or did a little things different. I'm not using keto breadcrumbs. I'll show you what I'm using in just a minute. So then I'm going to take a cup of parsley. This is fresh from our garden. Smells so good. And then I'm going to add, it would be 3 cups of keto breadcrumbs, but I'm not using keto breadcrumbs. I am actually using pork rinds for this recipe. So I just took regular, you can buy them already ground up, but I don't find it to be very cost efficient. I just buy the big bags at Walmart. If you saw my grocery haul, you would see that I had the big bag of, or a few big bags of the pork rinds, and that's what I'm using here. So that'll be 3 cups of that. And then I am going to hit that with some salt and pepper. Salt and some pepper. And while she mixes that up, what I am going to do is I'm going to make just a little dressing here. I am taking, let me see, I'm going to take 3 cups of ketchup. Let me get a different bowl. Watch her mix that for a minute while I grab another bowl for this. Okay, so what she is going to do is I'm going to clear a little spot, and she's going to even that out into 4 pans while I make the topping here. So let me just grab all my mess that I just made. And then I'm going to grab some pans while she mixes that together. Let's grab some pans here. Some people put their pans, everyone has a different style pan they use. I have 3 of these pans I'm going to use, like this, and then I have 1 glass pan. These are well loved, let me tell you. Alright, let's swap places. You can come this way and I'll shove these this way. And I'm just going to spray those out real quick. And then she is going to equal them out into each of these. So how I like to equal out is I kind of make my, let me see if I'll get a better shot for you guys. So I'm gonna take and make that flat. Can you make the kind of just flat all the way equal around? Okay. Now, because it's 4s, all I'm gonna do is just cut it in half and cut it in half again so it's like a pie. And then I'll know how much I want in each container. So each of those quarters is going to go into one of these. And then what I'll do while she's filling these up is I will be making this little sauce to go on top. And I'm going to take, let's see, here we go. I'm going to take this bowl, and to this bowl I am going to add my ketchup, and I have 3 cups of ketchup here. Cups of ketchup, and then to that I am going to grab some of this as well as some vinegar. So the vinegar I'm using is really any vinegar that you want to use. I'm trying to figure out what I have upstairs. I don't know if I'm going to add the vinegar or not because I don't feel like going downstairs. So I am going to add 8, actually 10 it says. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to put in big ones, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're like very shy of what they need. Can you stir that while I grab this vinegar over here? Okay, so you really want, I have white apple cider vinegar and there is no carbohydrates in that. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. And she's stirring that in all together. And then what we're going to do is, let me see, maybe I can move these along here. I have a speaker on here, so I can't actually see what I'm doing, so I'm just hoping that these come out halfway decent. Okay, that's good. So here's our things here, and I am just going to take and spread some of this on top of each one. I'm thinking it's going to be about 3/4 of a cup on the top of each one. Oops. She'll spread that out for me. We'll state the pan. Those are looking good. All right, so now we have 2 meals for our family. If you guys were making it, you probably would be making that for 4 or more meals. But this will be 2 meals for our family. So I will throw these in the freezer in their pans just like this. On days that I want to have these, I will take them out. Now, if we were just having a lunch and it was going to be kind of a side, I could get away with doing just 1. But on a normal day, normal meal, I would have 2 of these. Okay guys, let's do some keto meatballs. So what we have here is 6 pounds of organic ground beef. And then to that, I am going to add, let me see, 4.5 cups of marinara sauce. This is just our homemade pasta sauce. So I think what I'm going to do is like 4. It's like 4. I think I'm okay with just 4. I don't know that I'm going to do the half. I might end up doing a tomato paste if it's a little too runny. So I'm going to wait and not do the whole thing because that jar was a little bit thinner. And then my daughter is going to put the parsley in. So we're doing like a cup of parsley. Let's see. And then I'm going to do, where'd my spoon go? Here it is. All right. So then I'm going to do about half a cup of garlic. There we go. I'm going to do some salt and some pepper. There we go. And then I'm going to do some Italian seasoning. Probably do about, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8 tablespoons, maybe like half a cup, like that in there. And then I'm going to add, where is my egg? I'm going to add 6 eggs. Yeah. My daughter's going to mix it for me. Oops, wait. Real life, guys, real life. 2. Must be past my bedtime. I can't crack eggs. 4. 5. 6. The kids are watching a movie, and we decided we'd get a couple of these out. My daughter, who is 14, is helping me. Thank you for helping me. And then I'm going to add, okay, these are super yummy. You know what these have in them? They have Parmesan cheese right mixed in there. Tell me that isn't awesomeness. It would be if I had Parmesan cheese in my refrigerator. I'll go grab that. Do you want to go grab that? Or I'll go grab it. I'm going to take and do 1.5 cups of almond flour. I'm gonna ask you. She's gonna go grab that while I do the other ingredients. So 1.5 cups of the almond flour. Scrape this out. Gotta grab a spoon. I don't want to waste any of that in there. Any of that. Okay. There we go. And let's see if I left anything out. Oh yes, the milk. So I'm going to use the almond milk, and I am doing 1.5 cups of that as well. So this recipe is going to have, she's going to grab the Parmesan cheese, and we'll do 1.5 cups of that. And this will have, they're 1-inch meatballs, and the serving size is 6 meatballs. And the carbs, not net carbs, total carbs for that is going to be 3.5. So my daughter will actually probably not eat 6 meatballs, but that is the serving size. So this is Parmesan cheese, and we are going to add 1.5 cups of it. I think you probably, if you wanted to do this dairy-free, where you're doing the almond milk and stuff too, you could probably add pork rinds to this instead of the Parmesan cheese. Both of them are 0 carbs. And then it would make this recipe dairy-free. I probably will try that at a later date. But for right now, I'm going to do it like this. And she is going to mix that all up. Looks good. All right, so let's make this into some meatballs. So I'm just putting them on the trays here, like that. And then we have some, we're cooking some in the wood stove and then some in the regular stove. And we took some out. So we're just gonna cook these up tonight and then we'll bag them up in the morning. Okay, so I'm making some sloppy joes. In order to do that, I need the sauce, which involves ketchup. So I'm taking some of this tomato powder because I don't have the ketchup. So I'm going to take some of this tomato powder and I'm making it into tomato paste. And I'm doing that by adding, I just added a bunch of powder in here and some water. And then I'm going to take a stick blender and mash that up. Okay, so this is the middle are going to be like on top of the sloppy joes. So I measured out, let's see, what would it be? I'll say what it is for tomato paste for you guys. That would be 5 cans of tomato paste. And now I'm going to add, you can use monk fruit or allulose or anything like that. And I'm going to add 1 cup of that. Okay, so now we're going to add 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. Then I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Watch your Worcestershire, depending on the brand, it has different carbohydrates. I am using this one, and that's 1 carb. But I did notice some like cheaper blends were up to 4 carbs when I was looking for some the other day, so I didn't want to buy something different. Okay, then I'm going to do, let me see, garlic powder. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. I will add this recipe into the description box below. There's some things that I do not have. I ran out of paprika, so I'm not adding paprika. And I'm not going to add the liquid smoke either. So garlic powder, onion powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, then 1 teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of chili powder, and then half a teaspoon of the cayenne pepper. So I'm gonna whisk this up in just a second, and then what I am doing is I am going to be grounding some beef, and then I'll share that with you after it's ground how much I'm adding to. So this is just kind of like a ketchup recipe. So you can add water to this recipe as well. I am going to, because I'm using something that's dehydrated and that is rehydrating over time, I'm waiting to add that water until I'm ready to use it so I know how much is absorbed or not. But if you're using jars of tomato paste, you would want to have 3 cups approximately of water. So let's go ground that beef and we'll be back. Okay, so now I ground up all this meat. This is for the sloppy joe. There is 9 pounds of meat in here. And to that I'm going to add 9 cups of this homemade ketchup stuff. This is the sugar-free homemade ketchup that we just made. 3, 5. I'm just going to scrape the rest of this in here. There we go. Then to that we are going to add, let me see, 9 teaspoons of salt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which would be 3 tablespoons, I believe. My brain is just like not working, so let me see. I'm going to add 2 1/4 cups of water. We are going to add some mustard. I am going to add 3 tablespoons roughly of mustard. That's good. Then we will add, let's see, would be 16 tablespoons of, I'm using this for brown sugar replacement. Obviously, if you don't need to have a replacement, then you can just use regular brown sugar. But this is the brown sugar replacement, which is 4 carbohydrates and 0 sugars. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to add some garlic powder. So let me do 3 garlic powders, 3 tablespoons that is. 2, and 3. And then we're going to need some onion powder. And that is just going to be 1 tablespoon of onion powder. So I'm going to turn that back on, and then I am going to do some chili powder, and that will be, I'm trying to do the math in my head, it's half a teaspoon, so 4 teaspoons of chili powder. I did this recipe before actually, and it's really good. This is like a tried and true recipe. So I did the tacos too. What else? I did not do the meatballs or the meat loaf as of yet, but they both look like they came out good and they smelled good. So I'm hopeful for those. So this is going to be it. I'm going to mix this all together and let those things just kind of schmoozy together. And then I will bag this up. This would be this would probably be 3 meals for us because of the way that we would be eating it. So I will split this out into 3 meals. So what I would do is, like, in my pan like this, after it cooks down, I would kind of go like this and then make like it like this, and then I'd scoop up that section. Either that, or I can take a measuring cup and just do, I would start with like 5 cups each in each cup, in each bag, and then I would just go back and then do a cup each after that and go from there. So this is our sloppy joe mix. We would be eating this most likely on top of those English muffins that I made. I have not tried, I have some other recipes, but I haven't tried them yet. So for right now, my go-to is going to be those low-carb English muffins, and I'll let you know if I try anything else that might pair well with this recipe. So I cut some peppers up. I'm just gonna cut this onion up here, and then I'm gonna slice some of this steak. I bought 1 package of steak, so I'm just gonna slice that up, and I'm gonna let it marinate in some Worcestershire, salt, pepper, a little bit of tomato paste probably. I'm not quite sure. I might not do tomato paste because that does have some carbs in it. I might just do some Worcestershire in there, and some spices. I think I have some steak seasoning. That sounds good. Do some steak seasoning and then some Worcestershire. Let it marinate in there, and then we will have that for supper tonight. So I'm just browning. I think I have 16 pounds of meat in here. Okay, so here is my ground meat. So I have 16 pounds of ground meat here, and I'm just going to add some taco seasoning. I have about a cup, a little over a cup in here. Technically, it says that you're supposed to add like 4 cups of taco seasoning. That is not happening here. We are adding about a cup, and I'm going to mix this in, and then I'll add a little bit of water into this. I might add, well, I don't know if I will or won't. This is actually looking fairly good. I think I'm just going to leave it like this as taco meat. I can't imagine using 4 whole cups of the taco seasoning in here. I mean, for us, that was plenty. That was 1 cup of taco seasoning for 16 pounds of hamburger. I am going to add just a little bit of water. It also asked for 16 cups of water. That just seems like a lot. I am going to add 1 cup of water to that. Possibly 2. And then what I'll do is, because I have 16 pounds, my family will eat about 3 pounds per time. So I will take, I think I'm going to actually divide this just into 4 sections. So I'll go like this, I'll kind of cut it in half, and I will bag that up, and I'll be back. Okay guys, this is going to be a low-carb chili. I have 5 1-pound packages of hamburger, so 5 pounds of hamburger in here. I am making this into 2 recipes, so each recipe will have like 2.5 pounds. So to this, I am going to add, one thing that's different with me and chili is I like to add my chili stuff in before my meat's actually done, whereas the sloppy Joe mix and such, I like to cook my meat thoroughly. So I am adding 4 cans of the chilies and tomatoes together. I already have an onion in there. Then I'm going to add half of a tube of this. It is supper time-ish. Trying to just get some of this figured out. So I'm doing half a tube of this. Oh, I totally just squirted that all over myself. That's lovely. Well, close to half a tube of that. And then we are going to add 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to add 3 1/4 tablespoons because we just ran out of it. That will be good enough. And then I am going to add 4 tablespoons of cumin. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 tablespoon of dry oregano. And 1 tablespoon of sea salt. There we go. Two teaspoons of black pepper. I only have on this thing, I only have half teaspoon, so you'll see me do 4, but it's actually 2. 1, 2, 3. So it's 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And then I need 1 tablespoon of garlic. And I'm going to stir this up here. Let's see what this is starting to look like. My normal recipe, I use a lot of my homemade salsa in, but I don't actually have the nutritional facts for my salsa, so I'm going to have to try to find out how to configure what my salsa would be as nutritionally wise, and like how many carbs and stuff are in my salsa in order to add that. I'm more of like a wing it type person. I'm like, oh, this tastes good, this smells good, or however. Well, that's great, and I make some really yummy food, but when you're trying to count carbs, it's not exactly the easiest thing to do. So this is going to be the chili. So this will be topped for my sweet pea. This will get topped with sour cream and avocado or guacamole, whatever she wants to put on top, cheese, those types of things. If she wanted some diced onions, we could figure that in for her. So she would just have this with those things in it. I will be making, for the rest of the kids, I will be making an Instapot full of beans, and then this will go over the beans. One thing that I do not have, and this is not in this recipe, which I don't understand, is chili powder. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of chili powder because How can you not have chili with chili powder? So I'm going to give you the thing down in the description box below, the recipe in the description box below. But please note, I either am overtired or don't see chili powder listed as an ingredient. So I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. I think that will be good for us for this amount of chili. There we go. So there you have it. I'm just going to take this meat here and grind it all up and then put it, it's, let's see, 6 pounds of hamburger, and I'm just going to put it in containers, probably like 3 different containers, and this will be for a Big Mac salad, but it will already be like ground up, so I can just like defrost it and then we can use it on top of salad. Alright, so now this is done and we're just going to separate it into 3